Hello, I'm Otto and welcome to episode 54 of my Factorio Space Age Guide. So in the last episode, we kind of touched up Gleba a little bit, and then we started preparing to go to Aquilo. We started collecting some materials around the solar system. We collected everything that we wanted in the highest quality that we want, the highest quality that we could get, let's say. And then we set off and touched down on Aquilo. Here we are. I did explain a few things at the end of the last episode, but I'm going to briefly go over some of them again. So this planet is all about working on this liquid ocean, this ammonia ocean, and all about this like freeze mechanic. So we're going to have to make sure that all of our buildings stay heated up. The bots use a lot less, they use a lot more power. So they use 5 times the energy, which means obviously that they're going to be depleting their energy 5 times faster, using, in general, 5 times more energy when they're, collecting it from the roboports. And that means that our personal bots will be sucking our power a lot faster. And so before we actually get started on a lot of this, I want to go to our new ship, and we actually don't have any more rare cargo bays. We only have epic, so I'm going to upgrade these. The same actually applies to our rocket turrets. Oh, and I'm going to swap this back because we're going to need this calcite. It's like we have our asteroid collectors, and I think the same is going to apply with these. We're going to want the rares. The cargo bays just shipped off. And we're going to need 2 more. Okay. So I'm going to show you a little trick. Yeah, so I'm going to reduce the limiter that we have here to 0, and I'm going to reduce the check everything for 0, and that's just going to release everything that it has. I'm going to swap this back to 12 and this to 10. And hopefully that'll get the 1 extra. Yep. Okay, so back on this, we're going to actually specifically request in 2 of the epic cargo bays. Custom payload 2. And now those are on the way. Awesome. Okay, so while those are traveling up here, oh, we need some spaceship fuel as well. So while those are traveling up here, we're waiting for some power, which, oh, we have lots of water. Awesome. We're waiting on calcite for our thruster fuel and our molten iron, molten copper. That's for our defenses. Anyways. So I want to start setting up the schedule. That is going to be a complete pain. So I'm going to start with, I guess since we're on Nauvis, we can start. So I'm going to start, it's, pretty typical for our setup. We want to make sure that the check mark, which is tracking all of our materials here, I want to make sure that the check mark is good to go. And that includes being, high enough on everything. As we saw yesterday, we pretty much don't need this at all. Our ship is pretty powerful. This thing will just keep up with every... Oh, and I also messed up the blueprint, which I ended up fixing. So I just need to add those little tails. I don't remember if I did it to this one or not. Yeah, this one's fine. So I did update that blueprint, I think. Anyways, back to what we were doing. So for each planet, I'm going to have basically the same things. I'm going to have all requests satisfied, and then another circuit condition greater than 0, and a time passed, we'll just say 2 minutes. So I'm going to quickly go through all of these, and that is supposed to be an ore. So I'm quickly going to go through all these. This is going to be every single one of the planets, all 5 of them, and then I'm going to do the same thing for the Aquilo supply ship, and I will be back shortly. And we're back. Okay, so I actually just copy and pasted the space platform hub for this one, and it pasted everything that we had here and everything that we had over here. So I'm gonna add back in the Aquilo. Do I not have it? Oh no, I didn't add in. Aw. All right, well, we're gonna add all of this back in, except for the green circuits and red circuits. We don't need any of those actually. Okay, but before we even get into that, you know what, I'll do that later. We're gonna have this ship, our Aquilo supplies, be all of this material that we need. And we might not end up using all of it, but we're gonna certainly use a lot of this. We're not gonna use the green or red circuits. We don't need those at all. And then the Aquilo milk run will be largely just other things that we need from various planets that we don't have room for on the Aquilo supplies. And we can go through that actually. So we're going to call this Aquilo milk run. So a lot of the things that we're going to need, let's just go through the list. We're going to need lots of blue circuits. We're going to grab these from Aquilo. I'm going to make 5,000. We're going to need stone eventually. I'm not going to worry about that too much right now. And we're going to need this to make foundations, and we're pretty far away from making foundations. We don't need them on Aquilo. We just need them. We can use them for other planets. For instance, Fulgora's oil oceans and Vulcanus the lava. You can technically use them with the water at kind of like a landfill, but that's a complete waste. You are basically only making these for Vulcanus and Fulgora, and to be honest, basically just Vulcanus. Vulcanus is a massive powerhouse of potential manufacturing, largely because of the liquid mechanic. So we're also going to need, let's see, what do I have? We have blue circuits we're going to get from Nauvis. Now, as for the rocket fuel, we're going to bring this on initially, but we eventually won't need this at all. Like, we will be making all the rocket fuel we need from Aquilo. We're going to want to bring in LDS. I think we're going to do it here. Again, it would be better to do it on Vulcanus, but we're going to be bringing in a lot from Vulcanus, so I'm not too worried about this. 500, maybe 2,000. This is largely, actually, we don't even need that many. Let's just say 500 is probably fine. This is mostly for our rockets. The blue circuits we need for rockets and other things. So again, we're going to add this for now, but we will revisit this later. I'm also going to clean some of this up a little bit. We can probably hold on to a lot of this other stuff. Actually, those can go. Yeah, we can hold on to a lot of this because we will end up just shipping it down to Vulcanus instead of, or Aquilo instead of dropping it down to Nauvis. Okay, so this is most of what we're going to need from Nauvis. We're also going to eventually need some uranium, and we're actually going to get some nuclear fuel as well. This will be for our trains if we end up using them. I kind of think that we're going to end up using them because it's pretty OP to be able to, like, the trains don't have to have the heating function, so you know, having them do this will be completely, like, I mean, we're still going to need to heat up the, like, inserters and the chests and all that stuff, but you know what, we will visit that and see if we can actually handle that. We're going to also need some uranium-235. I'm going to start with, like, 3 stacks. I think that might be fine to start with. We're going to need this to make oh, no, wait, what? Oh, here we go. We're going to need this to make our captive biter spawners. We're, again, several episodes away from that, but we might as well have some with us whenever we decide to make it. The stone I'm going to hold off on. I could have held off on this, but not a big deal. So that's basically it for Nauvis. So I'm going to just put a placeholder so that we can just skip to the next line. For Vulcanus. Oh, actually, you know what? Yeah, we're going to get this from Vulcanus. I mean, we already got it from Nauvis, but we're going to get this from Vulcanus because we also need to get some concrete. And we're going to get that from here. I'm going to do 5,000, and then we're also, we don't have that on the planet, do we? Well, we got 6,000. We're also going to bring in some reinforced concrete. Now, this is going to be a supply. This is something that we are going to use as an ingredient. This is not something that we're going to place on the ground. Anything placed on the ground, we will just use concrete. Okay, back to Vulcanus. We are going to bring in some tungsten carbide. 2,000. We are going to bring in some tungsten plate. Also 2,000. And I believe for now that is everything that we're going to be pulling from Vulcanus. We could maybe say, hey, start bringing in some stone because, you know, we do have the ability to collect some stone from there that is just going to be dumped otherwise. I'm not too concerned with it right now. No, 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 don't bring this in. No! Fish. From Fulgora, we're going to need holmium plate. Let's do 5,000. And we're going to need superconductor. We can bring quite a bit of this. This stuff is 2,000, or sorry, 200 per stack, so we can stack that up nice and neat. And from Gleba, the only thing that we need from Gleba is carbon fiber. Now, I might be off on some of these quantities. If so, not a big deal. And we don't need the fish. We could also grab the concrete from Fulgora's. I mean, we're pretty heavy on Aquilo right now. So let's actually just say that we're going to get that from Fulgora. We will definitely get the reinforced concrete from Nauvis, though. Blue circuits, I mean, that's hit and miss. We could get that from Gleba. We have production of it there, and we're not really using that much of it. Okay, anyways, we need to start dropping some supplies. So we are going to drop down our cargo landing pad and cargo bay. And I'm going to toss some bots down too. Ah, missed it. Missed it for the first round. Okay, so looking at our technology, we're actually going to hit up mining productivity. Oh, one last thing. Because of the nature of the bots on this planet, they're going to be using 5 times the energy. So I want to start upcycling bots. So we are going to drop an upcycler for the construction bots and one for the logistics bots. I'm also going to add in roboports and pump jacks. I should have probably been doing pump jacks this whole time. Oh my gosh, this bug. It's going to drive me insane. Like, honestly. These can upgrade to rare because that's all we have on the planet. And I think we have some blue quality modules. Yes, okay. All right, so let's take a look at our science. So we need to unlock lithium processing. And to do that, we need to mine a big lithium ice formation. Well, thankfully we have a couple of big lithium ice formations right here. And that is now unlocked. Next up is we need to create some lithium plate, and that will unlock Cryogenics plant. You can see now we need the processing units, the superconductors, refined concrete. So, I should have brought some of that with us, but whatever, I didn't. And as we're mining these, we are actually collecting a couple things. We're collecting ice, we are collecting lithium, and we are occasionally collecting ice platforms. So the ice platforms are going to kind of start the process of us being able to build on top of the water, the ammonia ocean. And that looks something like that. Poor bots. They're just kind of, going along. Now, so as you can see, we still can't build on this. I can build over here, but I can't build here. Whenever I first got here, my very first playthrough, I struggled to figure out. I was like, I have no idea what is going on. Nothing was explaining it to me, like why I couldn't build. I ended up having to like look it up and try to figure it out. And I ended up I don't even know how I figured it out. I accidentally figured out that what I actually needed to do was bring in some concrete. So thankfully, we have some concrete on our supply ship. So we're going to drop some of that as well. And once we get that, we can then actually build on this. Now, we could build over here, but I want to build over this way. Partially to show an example, and also because I just want to. So now we can build on top of it. And the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to actually create a new deconstruction planner. So I'm going to right click this. We're going to go to the tiles section, and we're going to filter this as only, or set this as only. And we are going to set the filter for concrete. We're going to set it for frozen concrete, and we're going to set it for ice platform. So what you see here is the frozen concrete. If it was heated up, it would be regular concrete. So the game does treat this as separate entities. And what we're going to use this for is actually saving on materials. So I just got rid of all of the concrete that is not absolutely necessary. And now I've gotten rid of all of the ice platforms that is not as absolutely necessary. So from here, we can start sending things down to the planet, and we're basically going to need everything. So you might as well just start sending stuff down. Bot stuff. Power, we're going to need, oh yeah, solar. I did not mean to send down the repair packs, but how do you not have? Oh, that was because I copied and pasted. Okay, woof. We are going to want to make a rocket ASAP. Just in case for some reason we have to go back. Steel, yes please. Logibots. Oh, nice. You know what? Whatever. We're gonna send it all. We probably didn't need to bring the foundries, but it is what it is. Okay, so once we get back to another planet, these are all going bye-bye. A lot of this is going bye-bye. And we are gonna start the I didn't set this one up for this either. Okay, you know what? It is what it is. I will adjust that later. Like I said, the milk run is filling up. We can, please tell me we have ammo. Oh, thank goodness. These are all chugging along. So instead of going to Fulgora next, which is the next one on the list, I'm actually going to go back. We're going to go to Gleba first, and then he can start the process. So I'm going to collect the, yeah, we have lots of room. I didn't even check to see if it collected everything. It did. Okay, we're good. So it's going to go to Gleba. It's going to get the carbon fiber. We might end up having to expand the carbon fiber because this is all we are collecting. Well, I mean, I guess it's keeping up. If we absolutely needed more carbon fiber, I think I said this in yesterday's video, this section where we're just burning off all the excess, we could just take we could take the carbon fiber build over here and just stamp it down right here instead of having all this. We could just get rid of this and have another carbon fiber build. Like, just to briefly go over this, we did kind of have a rough start on Gleba. It is what it is. I probably should have been using efficiency modules in some of these, and to be honest, I probably still could. That would reduce the nutrient drain, because that is their energy supply. But overall, I'm very happy with the way this turned out. Like, I don't think we're going to have to babysit this at all. Like, this is completely... It's constantly moving. There's very little to no spoilage, if at all. Except for in these chests, which we are collecting tons. 84,000, my goodness. This little buffer actually worked great. I think it was fantastic. These can all drop down, and once they turn into iron ore, they go into, like, it was great. Anyways, back to our, like, this is Aquilo. We're not doing Gleba. Okay, so the next thing that we are working on is we need to create some lithium plate. So how are we going to create some lithium plate? We are going to need, our good old electric furnaces. But before we even get into any of that, we are going to have some very noticeable issues early on. One, we have basically no power, and the solar panels use pretty much, they suck. Let's just put it that way. I did not know you could put, wait, what? This is actually new to me. You learn something new every day. I did not know you could put solar panels on the ice. Now I'm curious, what else can you put on the ice? You know what? You learn something new every day. I'm going to enable my personal supplies, but that's not a big deal because we don't have any Logibots and we don't have any power, so... Okay, so for power, we need some nuclear, we need some heat pipes, I need some heat exchangers. We are going to kind of start with nuclear, but it's not going to be that easy. We just need a little bit to get going. We're going to be starting out with this crappy solar power. As you can see, we were producing 8 kilowatts. Oh, we are about to go into darkness, and that sucks because it is going to be very dark for a very long period of time. Okay, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to cut to when the daylight comes back, because this is honestly, this is going to be the most boring section if we just sit here and wait for it. All right, I'll see you after the cut. Okay, so our power is returning. The very little minor amount that we're going to end up having. So now we can, I'm going to grab some nuclear reactors and we're going to space this out. We don't want to put it right next to, we want to give it 2 inserter slots of space. And the reason why is because, wait, did I just put that? Oh, that's in my inventory. We're going to need long-hand inserters, and this is why. So unfortunately, things on this planet, as I've said, freeze, and we are going to have to make sure that they stay heated up. So we are going to use the nuclear reactors to, oh, and I forgot to drop uranium fuel cells earlier, but I have done that now. So I'm going to drop 1 into each of these. As it starts heating up, you can see that now it is powering, well, it's not powering, but it is heating up these, and they have now thawed. That is the mechanic of this planet, and you can see that the temperature doesn't actually have to be, it doesn't have to be like 500. It can be, I think I tested this once. It's somewhere around like 30 something Celsius for it to actually melt the things around it, other than the ground. You can see it's melting the ground. And only like within one tile of it. So it does technically have to touch. So this is not good. This is fine, this is fine, this is fine. Because all of these are connecting to a heat source. And yeah, that's the fun of this planet, right? I want to set these to override stack size 1. You know the drill. We're going to read temperature. Enable if T is less than 550. We could probably do less. No, we kind of want more. I'm going to do 580 because we want to make sure that some of the heat pipes actually are heating things up in the area. And they are going to be on very low power mode. Okay, so we're going to need some water. And I think as a temporary fix, what I'm going to do is maybe... No, this isn't going to be fine. All right. We're gonna do it like this. Now we're gonna need some water. So for water, we need a chemical plant. And this is where the majority of our weighting comes in whenever it comes to our power source. So we need to turn ice melting, ice into water. And thankfully we have a little bit of ice. Oh, that is a lot faster than I was expecting. That is awesome. And then we can take the steam turbines. That's why I was wanting to separate them. Nope, nope, nope. Yes, best mechanic on the planet. Okay, so I'm going to cut these and separate them by 1. So I'm going to cut these and separate them by 3. And to be fair, we could have done this. We could have done the same thing here. We could have just jumped over, had the steam go through here, and then had maybe this run through this. And like having this wrap all the way around was completely unnecessary. I just kind of felt like doing it. Another thing you'll notice is the power towers. They do not freeze. We are good to use those wherever we want. Come on, buddy. You can do it. Maybe not the best source of heat. The heating towers are definitely a bonus whenever it comes to that. But on the bright side, we are almost on our way to power. Come on, you can do it. Let's go. You've got water. We just need a little bit of steam. You need the temperature. Okay, so let's get some of this stuff removed while we're waiting for power. Hey, we have power. 56 or 46 megawatts. That is you know, that's something. But we can't keep hand feeding this forever. So for now, we are going to give this a chest. I mean, we're going to do a requester chest for now. We're not going to be requesting in anything at the moment. I mean, why not? We're going to need the ice. This is not a permanent solution, by the way. Oh, I did not even measure my... Oof! Talk about lucky. Talk about unlucky. Yes, this freeze mechanic is going to stump us every now and then. It's going to show up when we're like least expecting it, and yay. Alright, so the last thing that we're going to do is I want to place an electric furnace down. Or maybe a couple of electric furnaces down. And we're just going to feed these guys some lithium. And we have now unlocked the ability... Where'd it go? We've unlocked the ability to make the cryogenic plant. Oof, okay, so now we're going to need some lithium plate, superconductors, processing units, and refined concrete, and we will do that in the next episode. I did not set up the requester for this, which means these are going to have to move because that's going to go right here. Anyways, that is going to be it for me for this episode. A little bit of a slow start, that's fine. We got power, that's the main point. We have our ships that are doing some milk runs. This one is filling up nicely. I think we might end up running out of space. Wait, he's on Vulcanus, that's the last one. Did we get... We got our holmium, we got our superconductors, we got our carbon fiber. Okay, so this is actually fine. We have plenty of space. So tungsten carbide, and why is he... Nope, go back, go back, go back. Okay, maybe time passed for longer planets is, you know... Where's Nauvis? Yeah, the longer planets, we will leave it a little bit longer. You good, bro? Are we gonna have to take the small guys out of your filter? Okay, that is gonna be it for me for this episode. In the next episode, we are going to make some carbon... Oh, I just lost it again. Cryogenic plants. And this is a vital piece of how we kind of get a nice foothold on this planet. We are then going to set up a way to make ice platforms. We need ammonia and we need ice. And to get this, we need to convert ammonia solution. Where is ammonia solution? Oh, it's not, you know what, here. We need to take our ammonia solution and we will convert it into ice and ammonia, and then we can then convert the ice and ammonia back into ice platforms, which is kind of fun. We're going to have, like, one of these will end up being a byproduct, and we're going to try to use both of them as best we can. The ammonia is harder to deal with if you have to dump it. The ice is pretty easy. You can just recycle it if you have too much. Yeah, so we're going to be doing that hopefully in the next episode. And, you know, maybe heating a couple of things up here and there. Okay, so that is it for me. I will see you in the next episode, and thanks for watching.